Time again for Talking Dogs with Ian Grant, owner of Vermont Dog Boarding and Behavior, VFW Drive Hyde Park. It's the show that delves into the training, socializing, behavior, nutrition, and wellness of your dog. And brought to you by Guy's Farm and Yard with locations in Morrisville, Montpelier, Williston, and St. Albans. If it eats and grows, Guy's can feed it. And we're back with the trainer, Ian Grant, and this week we're talking about a sneezing dog and what it can mean. Apparently, it means more than the dog has an allergy, I guess. But, boy, when you think about, we were, of course, talking a few weeks ago about how powerful the tracking is of a dog's nose.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into sneezing. Boy, we're sticking with the nose for these programs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this one may not be something that people understand, but oftentimes if we, maybe grab our dog's toy, or if they grab it and bring it to us, and you may get that dog that kind of, drops it at your feet and backs up and kind of wiggles their butt like they're trying to invite you to play, you may witness a sneeze here or there. Not a full-on, the big, huge sneeze when they they shake their head and it's, this huge display. But you may notice almost like half sneezes and, you hear the air come out of their nose and come out of their mouth. So this is a form of them wanting to be playful. Oh. And it's this happy-go-lucky energy that comes out. And it won't be like a sneezing fit. You won't hear it like 4 or 5 at a time. You may hear it about every 10 seconds or so. And this is their way, the beautiful thing about dogs, this is their way of expressing their joy and their happiness with it. Fitz will do this sometimes when I play with him, not a full-on sneeze per se, but you'll hear the big kind of sound out of his mouth where he's like, okay, it's time. This is going to be fun. We're going to have all sorts of fun.
It's funny how dogs communicate, because I remember we talked way back when about how when dogs yawn, it isn't because they're always tired. It has other reasons why they yawn.
Yeah, in that context, it's usually during some sort of learning of some sort, or if it's a new environment, they're trying to figure out their way through that process or through that environment. And that, you can't miss a yawn, right? Their mouth opens wide. You see all the teeth and the tongue, and they're very expressive.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll do it a lot, too. And you're thinking, if you don't really know your dog that well, you think, boy, maybe we should put our dog to bed. But or maybe he's tired, but that's not the case. And it's the same with sneezing. It's not necessarily that they've got a cold or something went up their nose. They're communicating with us.
Yep, absolutely. And to touch on the yawn thing, I often joked about, the clickers that's like you count numbers like cars or something. You have that little handheld clicker,
right? Yeah.
I've often joked about I'd love to have one of those for dogs that yawn sometimes during the training process that I do.
Click how many times they do it?
Yeah, because there's sometimes you count 7 or 8 yawns easily within 10 minutes just because they're trying to figure things out so much. And sometimes I'd like to do that with the sneezes too, because like I said, Fitz does it. I've seen him, some dogs will do it. I'm a big believer in playing with your dog as far as, building your relationship and also training. And man, it's fun to see the dogs sneeze during the interactions with their owners, because they're like, oh, you got a cold, or oh, their nose is bothering. I'm like, nope, this is all about play. They're enjoying themselves. This is the way of showing joy, and it's just cool. That's one of those things that you really like to see. So you
can tell the difference between a dog that maybe has a cold or a sniffle and one that's enjoying the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Especially, I think we've probably all seen our dogs at some point. You'll see them sneeze a few times in a row.
Yeah.
And it's the huge sneeze. The head shakes and rattles, and, it's this a big display. And they may do it a few times, and then, the big shake it off, and then they're all done. But in this case, you're going to see a much milder. You may not see them, throw their head around like it's a big sneeze. Fitz will kind of toss his head left to right, and kind of up and down. With that breath, so I know it's very expressive, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah, so there's nothing we really have to do about it.
Nope, nothing at all. Just sit back, enjoy, knowing that your dog is having a wonderful, happy-go-lucky feeling.
And there's nothing better than that, that's for sure.
No, there isn't. Nope, not at all.
Yeah. Back with our dog fact of the week in just a moment here on Talking Dogs.
Hey dog owners, if you're struggling with your dog's overexcitement, pulling on leash, excessive barking, or even recall, and you want a clear, structured way to finally make progress, listen up. My Canines and Culture program is a 3-month transformation journey that includes weekly instructional videos, a supportive community, and live group Zoom calls where you get real-time coaching from me. Enrollment opens Tuesday, April 1st at 9 a.m., but only for people on my VIP waitlist. And here's the deal. This program won't be offered again until the fall of 2025. This time, I'm giving you more flexibility with 3 different Zoom calls each week so you can pick the time that works best for you. No more stressing about missing a session. Spots are limited and the VIP waitlist gets first access before it opens to the public. Don't miss out. Join now to secure your spot. Head to the link in the show notes to sign up. I love helping out people with their dogs during this program, and I love taking this journey with you. I look forward to seeing you in April.
Back with Talking Dogs with Ian Grant from Vermont Dog Boarding and Behavior, VFW Drive Hyde Park. If you want to go back to some of our past Talking Dogs programs, and also Ian does other podcasts throughout the course of his week, many that are getting a lot of attention these days, which we'll talk about in a future show, go to his website, vermontdogboardingandbehavior.com. So our dog fact of the week this week, Ian, deals with a Saluki.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you know what a Saluki is?
I don't know. No, I've heard the term and the breed, but I don't know much about the breed itself.
Let's just put it really simple for yourself and for everybody to picture. Picture a long-haired German Shepherd, but slimmer.
Okay.
They are runners.
They are runners.
They are runners. They just like the Greyhound that we talked about last week, they want to run. Mm-hmm. So the thing about the Saluki is, according to the Guinness Book of World Records, that this is the oldest dog breed on record, as it dates back to 329 BC.
Wow.
So a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So it's interesting why that particular breed would be the oldest. And
yeah, we would have to do some serious digging.
Genealogy.
You
have to get into
for sure. And they also said that there's carvings that are found in Iraq of a dog that looks similar to a Saluki that dates back to 7000 BC.
How can they go back that far? How can they have documentation to prove that?
I guess you'd have to talk to an archaeologist, right?
I guess.
As far as the hieroglyphics and what they're reading and understanding and date-wise and stuff. But regardless, even if it was, a couple thousand years ago, then so be it. But we're talking about a breed that goes way back. And so these dogs are really, they're built for speed. They're very slim in the hips. It's one of those dogs that if they were looking straight at you, they look like they're about 2 inches wide, because they are just, they're built for nothing other than speed, chasing down prey.
Are they as quick as greyhounds?
They're probably right up there. I don't know if they have that
stamina
that we just talked about last week. I'd have to probably dig in a little bit more. But I've only come across, I think, one purebred Saluki in my life.
That you trained?
I think it was more. I think it came in for boarding. I don't think it was.
So you never had to deal with training of Salukis?
No. And then there was a Saluki mix that we used to have that would come for daycare, who was a very cool dog. He was one of those dogs that would smile at you. The lips go up and you see all teeth, but there wasn't an aggressive bone in his body. So, but I've had good experiences with him. Very limited, but good experiences.
The Saluki, the oldest dog breed that we know of according to the Guinness Book of World Records. So there's something you can impress your friends with that fact.
There you go.
This coming weekend. Well, next week, we'll be talking about how does my dog still have energy after a walk? Yeah, well, we're just about dying here, and the dog wants to walk for another 10 more miles. And,
yes. And I'm going to dig into the reason why, because I think this is something that gets misinterpreted, and we certainly don't want that to happen.
Yeah, have to have our own little fitness center before we take our dog out for a walk. We've got to get out there.
Yep.
On Talking Dogs with Ian Grant, brought to you by Guy's Farm and Yard, with locations in Morrisville, Montpelier, Williston, and St. Albans. If it eats and grows, Guy's can feed it. And for the trainer Ian Grant, I'm Roland LaJoy, and we are Talking Dogs.